Hey y'all, in today's video, I'm gonna be talking and breaking down all the advice, everything I wish I would have known when going from high school to university, specifically in engineering, abroad, university, all alone. This is gonna be a big sister sit down video. Everything you need to know, all the advice, all the tips and tricks, so that you don't make the same mistakes that I did. If that sounds interesting to you, keep watching. I will just briefly introduce myself and give you a little bit of context about where I am, what university, what I'm studying, in case it's important to you and in your transition as well. So I'm Maria, I'm in my third year. I just finished my third year of engineering in Canada. So I moved here for university and I didn't have pretty much anyone. Like I had one family friend, so I was practically alone. Okay, yeah, I think that's all the information, and I'll share more as the video rolls on and things come up to mind. So let's get into it. Number one, you gotta learn on your own, and this is advice that my dad gave to me when I first started university, but it's true. Like the way we are taught in high school and making sure that everyone on class is more or less on board. Forget about that at university. It's rough out here. You gotta work on your own. For me, honestly, it was very conducive to me, like this learning environment. I decided how much I wanted to study for something, and a lot of things you will not understand right away from lecture, and that's where I had to study on my own and look at past questions. And I know that some universities don't even share past papers, and that's tough. But wherever you can, I mean, go through that. And it really depends honestly on your degree and the assessment style of the course. But I'll just speak from experience as an engineering grad or future grad. You gotta study a lot on your own, and you gotta commit a lot of hours to catch up on stuff if you wanna be on top of things as the academic year progresses. Did I do this myself? No, I left a lot of things for last minute, and I'm not encouraging that. But because there's so much quantity of things you have to do, well, for me at least, in terms of homeworks and assignments and labs, it's really hard to, especially in your first year, to balance that with, oh, I need to catch up on lecture content. So you and most of your peers end up catching up towards the end of the semester on most of the coursework. So advice, you gotta learn a lot on your own, but hopefully your university has a lot of spots to study on campus, and I can go into a whole tangent about work-life balance, but we're not going there. That's point number one. Number two, comparison to your peers. And I definitely felt it when I first started university. And surprisingly, it's no longer about grades. I don't know about you and obviously the university culture in the university that you are at, but at the university I'm in, everyone was a high performer in high school. So everyone is smart in my class. So I was immediately humbled by my grades and my performance with respect to other students in the class. So reality check right away. But that's great. And we have all other aspects of your life, like comparison in terms of like the internships that you end up going to, the companies that you work for, which you may not be particularly relevant in first year, but second year, third year, when you start your co-ops. Honestly, it's a very competitive environment, especially where I am in. So just brace yourself for that, but don't take it personally. The one thing I wish I realized with that was that, like, it's not worth comparing yourself to others. Everyone has their own timeline, and you can't rush things. And some companies are over glamorized, some roles are over glamorized, and they're like sexy and cool. And I felt the most confidence when I stepped outside of the bubble and introspected amongst myself and realized what sort of company I want to work for, what sort of role I want to work for, and how pointless the whole comparison and stress part of the equation was. And I had to focus on myself and turn inwards, and really it's all about you. That's all the advice I'm gonna give. Like, No one gives a shit about your classmates as much as they do. Focus on yourself, and you're doing great. You're doing amazing, really. And going to the internships phase is already above and beyond what is asked of you at university. So my advice is really to turn inwards and not compare yourself to others. And certainly when you start to feel stress and negatively about yourself, you know that you are too emotionally invested in the process. I'm saying you, but I'm talking to myself because that was exactly how I felt. And words of advice, maybe go to your friends who are maybe in a different major and be honest and open with them, or your family if you trust their advice, and they'll inject a lot of positivity and hopefully a lot of realism for you. It's really not that deep, okay? I promise it'll work out in the end. Don't worry, don't stress. Everyone is in the same boat, literally. Everyone is applying to the same internships. Everyone is stressed. So stop comparing yourself to others. Please, please, I beg of you. If there's one thing you take away from this video, it's that. But more on comparison, like in terms of physical appearance. I don't know about you, but I felt somewhat confident before I started university. And then when I got to university, I gained some weight because of different food habits. And I can go into a whole entire tangent about that, but it launched my insecurity and unconfidence in a sense. And I can't stress this enough. Don't compare yourself to others, especially physically. No one gives a shit. And especially you, focus on your health, your physical health, your mental health. That's what's most important. So just don't compare yourself to others. You are beautiful, you're handsome, just the way you are, for all the guys watching this video. And please don't compare yourself to others. It's not worth it. Okay? Deal? Deal. Oh, and a few other things I have here in my notes. So social media impressions of university. Naturally, some things are glamorized online, so don't compare yourself to people, especially influencers who have a very different degree or a different location for university. Whatever's online is not necessarily real. It was a big reality check for me when I was over glamorizing, I was watching all these vlogs of people starting university, and I'm not saying my university experience was bad, but it's just very different. So brace yourself for that. And the last point, also under comparison to your peers, is life stages and relationships. So everyone has their own timeline, and I can't stress this enough. Your first relationship, when you graduate, right? Don't compare yourself to the rest of the people or your grades or anything really. Timelines don't matter. Just focus on yourself, okay? Okay. Number 3, your personal values. Number 3. I briefly touched on this, but naturally university brings a whole bunch of people that we may not be necessarily exposed to from high school in our small community. So I'm just gonna put it out there. People have different values, different religions, different perspectives, different political inclinations. So if you have values that are near and dear to your heart, that are important to you, my suggestion is to hold on to those, okay? And don't let university change you or influence you into things that you know you would regret in the future. It's okay to feel a little bit different in that sense. And you will change at university. You are naturally influenced by the people around you. But some things are hard-nosed, and it's okay that people are different around you. Okay? That's the point I wanted to make. Yeah, I feel like this is a very touchy point for me, because some boundaries of mine in terms of my religion and my faith and intimacy are very different from my peers here. And even people on paper who have the same religious background or the same ethnic background can have very different perspective on politics or intimacy and relationships, or even okay, so that's the point, right? Don't stay true to your values if they're important to you and you don't want the peers around you to influence you, okay? Okay. Number 4, don't make university become all of you. This is something I struggled with very personally, and I had to be forcefully removed from university to finally kick some sense into my brain that university is not my entire life. It's not me. University is 30% of my life. All other aspects of my life are just as important. My health, my physical health, my relationships, my friendships, my love, my self-love, faith, other creative pursuits, hobbies, jobs to an extent, right? University is nothing but a fraction. So everything that comes with university, right? Like a bad grade or a bad exam, don't let that affect you. If something happens and you fail a test, right? Don't let that come to you personally. It's not a reflection on you at all. GPA, for example, that's a whole other tangent, but don't let that be a reflection on you. University is but a small segment of my life, and when it's invaded every other aspect of my life, and when I put university on top over my health, over my social life, my mental health went downhill very, very quickly, and I was unable to cope. And at the end of the semester, I was literally a shell of myself. And in final season, especially when even my sleep schedule is out of whack, like I was sad. I was really sad. So point is, university isn't your entire life, and it's not you, okay? Just focus on nurturing the other parts of you, like working out or reading or whatever it is that fills your cup. And number 5, be careful about who you share your energy with, who you share your goals and your aspirations with, who you share your intimate thoughts about. For me personally, I have some goals of mine that, to be honest, when I share a snippet of it with some people, in retrospect, like I get a bad energy from that, and I kind of regret sharing it with some people. And some people I will share some things with, and some people I will not. I don't know about you, but for me personally, maybe it's the people pleaser in me, or the woman plus people pleaser in me, or the eldest daughter plus. I feel the need to get validation from others, and a way I do that is by oversharing. And I'm kind of breaking that down with my journaling and stuff, but I realized that was like a safety mechanism for me. Instead of being confident in who I am, which I normally am with my loved ones, like there are some things I love to share with them, and some things like are just for me. And that's the way I want to keep it with my loved ones. Like I will share anything and everything with them, but some people do not deserve that from you, and some people want to sabotage you. I'm not trying to scare you or anything, but not everyone wants your best interests at heart. Some people will sabotage you, especially as it relates to, like, for example, something as minimal as lecture notes. You ask for lecture notes, someone's not going to share them with you, or they'll share a snippet of it. Or that's university, for example, but even like internships. Oh, you interviewed at this company, how did it go? I trust us, especially women, like our intuition. I believe that our gut instinct is correct, and I haven't been wronged by my gut instinct. But in retrospect, after sharing with some people some aspirations or some personal parts of me, I felt regret and like, damn, I shouldn't have shared it with this person. So that is advice I would give to you. These people probably don't want the best for you. They will probably influence you to do things that you don't want to do. Just be picky about your friends. You're going to meet a lot of people, a lot of wolf in sheep's clothing, a lot of sheep at university. That is something that my dad told me, I realize now. And at the same time, just be careful about what you share to who and when. So that is all I had for this video. I hope that it was very useful advice for your transition into university from high school. I grew up in a very sheltered private school, high school, so going from like less than 100 people in my cohort to thousands of people in the first year cohort was something else. Like naturally, I met a lot of different people that... Okay, my camera cut off, sorry about that. I'm also low on storage, so I'm gonna wrap up here. Thank you so much for watching this video. I am so happy that you watched to the end. If you did and you liked the video, please like and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. I try to post once a week, every week, about everything: productivity, lifestyle, university, career, advice, you name it, I will do it. And I wish you all the best, and please comment your thoughts down below. That's all I had for this video. Love you guys and talk to you very soon. Bye!